you know what? Y'all are just gonna get all of the anti-reflectiveness in these glasses, because no matter where I sit, it's there, and we just don't have no time to put on the content because I got to get this video going. So let's go. Hey, I'm back. I've been gone from this channel for quite some time. I've missed you guys. I really do love coming on camera and talking to you, but I needed to figure out what my content was going to be about because I was all over the place. So I've decided name change on the channel is now called The Spot, with me, B Brown, your source to all real estate and lifestyle. And, you know, we're just going to have fun over here. I have committed to doing Vlogmas this year. I know it's a huge commitment. You going from not posting to now you're going to post daily. Y'all pray for me, okay? But I'm going to try to get this content to y'all daily. I think it's for 20 days straight, a new video every day for 20 days straight from Vlogmas. So, with that said, we're going to start this video. I'm going to share with you why I got into real estate, because I realized I've never told that story before. And I'm going to answer some questions that I typically get from first-time home buyers. And I'll probably round it out with a story about a lender from hell. Okay, y'all ready? Why I got into real estate. I have always loved looking at properties and looking at homes, specifically in the redevelopment space. My family I won't specify which side, because actually both sides were actually into real estate. But I watched them build their own homes, and it was always intriguing to me. So I didn't even really think about the process, like what the process was of purchasing a property that was already built, because all I had known was they had the land, they built their home. So I got into the retail space because I wanted to know what went on in the transaction on how you purchase property. But I always knew that at the end of the day, I wanted to end up in the redevelopment space, especially rehabbing, because when I look at an old home, it has character, it has a story. It's just like people. Sometimes it just needs a little sprucing up, you know, to be back at its best. And so that's why I got into real estate. What they don't tell you is that this profession is hard as hell. It is not like Selling Millions, how they have on HGTV or whatever DIY, whatever channel that is. You have to grind, you have to hustle. If you don't sell, you don't eat. That's point blank, period, okay? And then you have to think about this. There are more real estate agents than there are property on the market. That means it is oversaturated. That does not mean that if you're interested, you shouldn't jump in, because there's always space if that's what you're supposed to do. You'll find your niche, you'll find your people, you'll be able to eat. But just know that it is survival of the fittest out here, okay? I'm not even gonna lie to you. Questions that I usually get from buyers. Now, I've been in this industry for about 5 years, actively working in it for about 3.5. And I've gotten to the place to where I don't take on every single client. Does that mean I'm making bank? No, but what that does mean is I know who I'm able to service best and what I need to do for my own mental sanity. And so, as they say, all money ain't good money. And that goes both ways. So if you feel like you're working with an agent and they are doing a disservice to you, then you should go find another agent. Now, for me, how I vet my clients. My clients need to be a little bit independent. What do I mean by that? I'm not that agent that's going to go to every open house with you. I go to a few, I go to a few open houses. If the first house you want to see is an open house, I'll go because I want to gauge what your interest is and give you some pointers on what you should look at when you're touring a home. But after that, I pretty much send you to open houses by yourself. And if there's properties that require an appointment, of course I'll make those appointments and I attend with you. But I like clients who are just a little bit more independent and don't need so much hand holding, because I typically probably am working with another client at the same time, and I need to be able to give both of them the same amount of energy for their respective transactions. So with that said, I'm always about the numbers and writing a real strong contract. This year and last year too, all my clients have been under contract within 4 weeks. Super hard. It's not something that I guarantee, but if you listen to my expertise and you trust what I'm saying to you, then potentially that could be your results too. If you're a buyer, what you should look for in your agent. I'm not going to say that the agent should know your market 100% because we as agents, we cover a number of markets, but they should know how to pull the information that they need to pull in order to write you a strong contract a strong offer for that market. I will say that. And how you communicate, like how do they communicate? For me, I rely heavily on text. It's the easiest way to contact me. If you call me, you will get a call back. It might not be within it'll be within an hour, honestly. Usually if you get a call back within an hour. But if you text me, you get a response relatively quickly via text, just because I see it come through. I'm able to probably get to it at that particular point in time. Some people like the phone, some people prefer email. Figure out the mode of communication that your agent likes best, and if that vibes with you. Also, how knowledgeable they are about certain things. I have buyers who ask me questions, and if I don't know the answer, I will go and find the answers for them. And I am the type of agent that will tell you, I don't know the answer to that. Let's find out together. Or if they're speaking to their lender and they ask me a question I don't know, when they find out from the lender, I say, oh, let me know, right? So because education can be two-way streets. I don't know everything. Your agent doesn't know everything. And if your agent claims to know everything or puts their foot forward like they know everything, that might be a red flag, because things in this industry are constantly changing. There are things that are staple and stay the same, but the regulations and stuff, tend to change. And so I don't claim to know everything, but I do know enough. I will say that. What else do buyers ask? Oh, what is the right time to buy? That is always the number one question. And I will always say this. It is always the right time to buy. Why? Because numbers are always going up. Prices is going to increase. I don't really see us having a downward spiral that everyone is hoping for. I just don't see it. So if you're in the financial position to be able to buy while interest rates are still good, the sooner the better. That's what I would say. So I would say base it off of your financial situation and then determine if it's the right time for you to buy. How to choose a lender. Now, there's only two things that will make or break your home buying experience: your agent relationship and your lender relationship. If you get an agent and a lender who's on the same page, that's golden. If one of them are off, your transaction is going to feel like pulling teeth. And it also feels like pulling teeth for the agent if it's the lender that's off, right? Now, how do you choose the right lender? You should be asking the lenders, what products do they offer? How does that product fit in with your financial situation? Are the interest rates, are they locked? If they're not locked, at what point in time will it become locked? What is your monthly payments going to look like? What is your cash to close going to look like? And also, hold on, make sure you understand how much cash you're going to need to close and how much you need for your down payment. Many people come in thinking that they only have to pay that down payment that you hear the lender talk about, whether it's 5%, 3%, but you also have closing costs, additional closing costs that you need money for. So make sure you understand how much it's going to cost you to close out this transaction. What else should you ask your lender? How quickly can they close? Now, that's something that I usually ask the lenders. We'll save that for my story time. I want to know, how quickly can you close, right? And please, lenders, if any of y'all are watching this, be honest with the agent, because it makes the transaction hard when you just agree with whatever we say, knowing that you don't have the capability of doing it. Now, certain things do happen out of your control, and we as agents understand that. But nonetheless, just give us a realistic time frame on when you're going to be able to close. Speaking of that, I guess that's a good segue into my lender from Hell Storytime. And what's crazy about this is I've worked with this lender before and didn't really have any issues. And everybody has off days, but I don't even know if this was an off day. I think I might have just met the representative the first time I worked with him, and now I'm seeing the real individual. And if that's the case, you don't got to worry about me coming back working with you again. How this starts off. So I'm with the client, and you know, we're in a hot market, and homes are still, they may not be going under contract within 24, 48, 72 hours, but the pricing is still being competitive. And so even though it might sit a little longer, sellers are still looking for a particular sweet spot in terms of their selling price. So with that said, depending on my client's financial makeup or needs or whatever, that pretty much helps determine, you know, what the offer is going to look like. And I tend to write offers that can close within 31 days. That is extremely tight timeline, because within that you have to get through inspection, you have to get through the appraisal, the rest of the underwriting guidelines, and then get to the close. So I ask lenders, are you able to close a loan within 31 days? This lender, like I said, worked with him before. Yes, I could do it. I said, would you prefer 35? Because let me tell you, them extra 4 days, they matter. So here we go. Everything's going according to plan. Offer comes in, it gets accepted. We're off running. First hiccup. This offer actually went straight to P&S, so there was no inspection. So that kind of accelerated things even quicker. Now, we're getting to the appraisal. Appraisal happens and everything else, and now we're at underwriting, and underwriting is asking for documentation that's already been submitted in a portal that everybody has access to on the lender side. Now, it's not uncommon for lenders to ask for additional documentation that you might have already, the underwriters to ask for additional documentation that you might have already given the loan officer, because paperwork does pass through multiple hands. But you shouldn't be asking for almost every single piece of documentation over again. No, ma'am. So that was the first red flag, because it's like, okay, well, what in the world was the loan officer doing? That the underwriter is asking for all this information over again. Okay, so you get all of that in. Now these little issues are popping up. Issues that the loan officer, if he really had taken the time to look over the client's case, would have been able to solve early on before it even got to underwriting. So then that's a whole nother thing that pissed me off, because it's like, well, here we are. Now I have to go back and ask for these extensions that we wouldn't have needed if you just did your job in the first place. And the kicker, I'm not even going to say any names. I'm not even going to tell you what branch or whatever this individual was from. But text me to say, hey, I'm in Disneyland. I'm sorry, you're in Disneyland. Okay, fine. I understand the nature of this game and how things operate and people do business from wherever. But don't tell me you in Disneyland when your business is not intact, right? Because all that did was piss me off. And then in the process of pissing me off, I'm not even going to share it with my client because it's going to piss them off. So I say this to say, make sure you vet the individuals that you're going to work with, okay? Because the lender can make or break your experience. And don't nobody want to get to the closing table and not feel excited that they just purchased a home, but rather get to the closing table with a sigh of relief saying, thank God this is over. So, will I work with this lender again? I won't refer him out. If a client comes to me and they've already sought their services, I'm not going to take food off of anybody's table. But you will not be at the top of my recommended list. That I can guarantee. So, that sums up our first video for Vlogmas. And announcing that B Brown is back on the tube over here. So I want you to do two things. I want you to leave me a note in the comment. Let me know what other type of content you want to see in terms of real estate. And also click the subscribe button so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And again, since I said I'm doing Vlogmas, that's going to be one every single day. So come hang out with me over here at the spot. And I'm just excited to be back, guys. I'm excited to be back. We got so much in store. Ready? We're going to take this channel to the moon and beyond. All right. Bye. Peace.